Right. We think we've poked the buttons now.
We think we're good now. No echo. We're live.
No echo. Can you hear us? What's going on? Hello.
Wait, do they miss the echo? Do we need to echo?
We need echoing more.
Echo.
Oh.
Yeah, probably.
There we go. Live chat. There's the chat.
There it is. Success.
Hooray!
It only took us half an hour to figure it out.
We'll be able to do it much quicker next time.
in theory, until we figure out something else that's wrong.
Right. So, why are we here again? What was the purpose of this? Whose idea was this? Who's in charge here?
It was that guy from that
guy.
thing.
He owes me money.
Yeah. He does, doesn't he? Wait, was it me? Hold on.
I don't know. Something about
no idea.
Us old men needing to do more collabs. So here we are.
Yes, that's what it is. Well, apparently people enjoy when we banter back and forth, so we might as well share with the world. There it is.
Well, here we are. What have you been up to? What are you doing?
Oh, dude. Finally, even though it's been sitting in a box in my basement for the past month, I finally put my bamboo together.
Oh, yeah. You got yourself a printer.
Yeah, so the bamboo is, I freaking love this thing, and no word of a lie, yeah, I'll probably be ditching my Ender 5 soon, because this thing is awesome.
Is that the one that can print multiple colors?
Probably if you get the attachment. It's the one that's super fast.
Ah.
Yeah.
Cool.
See? Slow like an old man, and then fast like everybody we play Nerf against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be wily.
I tell you. What about you? What are you doing?
I have a thing.
Dude.
And a thing. And a thing. And I'm gonna do the thing.
Are you gonna stick the things? Are you gonna stick the things in the thing?
I'm gonna try it. So out of the box, this thing hits 150 with its own darts and 170 with bamboo darts. I have no idea what's going to happen when I upgrade it. This
Probably
is
break something, but maybe not.
Well, almost certainly. I've heard the plunger tubes are fragile, but we're going to find out. I got a Talon Claw 26 from Silver Fox. And then the Kuriaki barrel, I think, from Out of Darts. And supposedly you can take out, it takes 2 or 3 screws to be able to swap the barrel, or 2 screws to be able to swap the barrel, and then a 3rd screw to be able to swap the spring.
Really? That easy?
Yep.
Let me get mine. Yeah, this thing is... Dude, I love this thing. I'm still tripping that it's $30 and it looks this good out of the box. Huh?
Yeah, it's X-Shot quality plastic, obviously, so it feels like if you drop it, it'll shatter, but don't drop it.
I think that's just the mags. No, I just dropped the mag. It didn't break yet, but I'm probably going to step on it as I get up, so.
You take these 2 front screws out, and they're holding in a pair of pins, and then the front just comes off. And there's your barrel.
Check that out.
So you can pull the barrel out. What amazes me is that it's $30 and comes with a metal barrel. There are metal barrels that cost $30.
I know, but see, that's the thing. When you're able to buy 1,000,000 of them, suddenly the price drops significantly.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And then the 3rd screw that you need to take out is the one up here, where the priming handle connects to the priming rod up at the top. If you look through the slots, you can see a screw.
Yep.
Take that one out, and then the whole pump grip will come off, and you can get to the mainspring.
Dude, that's easy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you break yours first, and I'll see if I break mine next.
Yeah. So then the front grip comes off, and there's your mainspring. Which, look at that. The dimensions, shockingly similar.
Check that out.
So we're going to put this K26 thing in here, and then we're going to put our grip back on. And the one issue that I'm going to have, I believe...
I guess the cool thing about doing this live is that if it explodes into a million pieces, you have it on video, and we'll make a fantastic meme. And I'm sure X-Shot will love it to use as a promotional stuff for themselves.
If they don't want their stuff breaking live, they should make it out of better quality plastic.
And make sure dummies like us can't have access to it.
The downside is if they made it out of better quality plastic, it wouldn't be $30 anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Suddenly it'd go up pretty substantially. But you know what, though? I think, isn't it... What I like about it is the fact that you don't have to change the spring on it. You don't have to do anything to it. And still, out of the box, man, this thing hits and is pretty accurate. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with a rifled barrel.
Yep.
Like I said, it'll do 150 with its own dart, 175 with bamboo dart, because that's what mine was getting.
Yep. I haven't run mine yet, but yeah, it kind of feels like that. So
now I get to the part where I have to make a change that is not reversible, which is if I want to have the longer barrel, I have to cut this thing slightly so that the barrel will actually fit through it.
Ah, dude, putty, man, you can make it work.
Oh yeah, no, that's not the hard part. The hard part is I'm currently attached to my phone.
By the way, just noticed today, love the fact that this thing is adjustable on the back too, even if you need that extra 1.5 inches.
All right, what are people talking about? Anyone have anything interesting to say?
Well, I think we should say hello to everybody
Hello
first.
to everybody.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming. This is a result of when Cap was down in my neck of the woods, and instead of both of us going to bed, we just went live and had way too much fun. As we were both
like a couple of old men.
I tell you, but people watched it, and so we figured, maybe we should do this again, and then realized, hey, we should probably do this again. So here we are doing this again.
Now I have the angry file.
Oh, the angry file. The difference is that today I didn't drag him about 30 miles up and down downtown Washington, D.C., seeing monuments, a graveyard, some other people, and some stuff.
A lot of dead people.
A lot of dead people. I see dead people. Hello from Canada. Hey, Andy. Hello, New Jersey.
I can mute the microphone.
Oh yeah, you can. All right, that means I guess I'll just talk a lot right now. Or maybe what I'll do is, like, you ever watch those TV shows where they have like a voice actor fill in? So right now I'll pretend what actually Xavier's thinking in his head. I'm filing. I am filing. Maybe I should be filing. Wait, why am I doing this? There are many questions I have right now as I look at this spring. Will this spring fit? Will it rain tomorrow? What will I have for dinner? I don't even know if I went shopping for breakfast. These are the things he's probably thinking about. Wonder what the dwarf's name was. That's key, man. That's key. Hey, we got Denmark checking in. Isn't it like 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning at Denmark? No, wait. 2:40 is my guess, or 1:40. Vacation in New Orleans. I got to go there one day. That'd be fun. I think it's back to mute. Hi from Australia. Interesting enough, I just had my cousin visiting from Australia. She's doing a whole tour. That's the best thing if you're Australian. For some reason, Australians get like the most vacation weeks. It's like every time my cousins come over, they got like 3 months of vacation or 2 months. But I guess part of it is they realize that it takes like, 2 or 3 days to get anywhere when you leave Australia just because of the flights. 240, I am correct. Andrew, dart sweep. Yeah, still recovering from awesome. Locally, it's in Washington, D.C. It's awesome con. It's the biggest one that happens, at least in our area. And of course, I dragged Andrew Dart Sweep out with me. It's called Forced Labor. He got to run around and take a lot of pictures of everything, which he always does. And if you haven't seen him, man, yeah, go always check out the videos and pictures Andrew does. It's pretty awesome. And if you need someone at a convention to track and take pictures of every single person that's in costume, bring Andrew. He somehow finds everybody, and they all listen to him, and he takes amazing pictures. I know he's not paying me for this ad.
But he should.
Is it working?
I got one last screw to go in.
Oh, the filing has been finished.
It's done. All right. I need some
Here we
darts.
go. Yeah, I don't know if any of you are going to End War. I wish I was going. I cannot make it. Family vacation planned. We're actually heading to the beach on the Saturday. So, yeah, I am not going to be making it to End War, but all of you that do go, I can't wait to see pictures and feedback, and I hope you all have a great time. And Andrew's going to be there, so if you want your picture taken, go see Andrew over at the Dart Zone booth.
You talking smack? All right, what do we get?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you got to
Hey,
play with
I
the
forgot.
Max Outlaw, didn't you?
Dude, you know what? That thing is, you're going to be all over it. You love the hammer shot. Never mind when you get the
Oh,
Outlaw and it actually hits without straight out of the box. You got the metal prime. It you get two cylinders with it. It doesn't skip, unlike maybe another Dart Zone revolver that we won't talk about. Um, dude, I like it. It is nice, man. And the fact that also it's I think the retail is going to be just over $30 for the thing.
nice. Means I gotta turn my
Yeah.
chronograph on.
Yep. Never mind the fact that I can't wait to get a couple because I'm going to paint the hell out of those things. Kind of like what I do. Go figure. Yeah, dude. Then also, yeah, because I had, so if you guys haven't met him at different events, I had Derek from Dart Zone in my event. Luckily, he's a local guy and we're buddies. So he came out and was in my booth, and I gave him a corner just to pedal Dart Zone stuff, but then also answer a lot of Dart Zone questions since a lot of stuff I paint now is Dart Zone. But as a result, he brought the Mark IV, he brought the Thunderbolt, which I love because it's the Spectrum minus that crappy, stupid looking front end that they had on that thing, and now it actually looks nice and like not stupid, and I'm very happy with it. And then the Outlaw and the Mark IV, and the Mark IV is huge, but I don't care. I freaking love the thing.
Somebody, before it goes too far away, who's asking about the Supermax Extreme 5000? Do I have one of those? Pretty sure I don't have one of
I
those.
don't know.
I don't know what they're talking about. All right, here we go. We now
All right, what
have
do we got?
we've got the Talon Claws, the Silver Fox 20 or K26 in this thing. We've got a slightly longer barrel. Let's see if it explodes when I try to shoot it. Well, the
Put on the
prime's not
helmet,
too
man.
bad. The prime's not bad. 239 with stock darts. Oh, something's not right. Something jammed.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And I don't know where it jammed.
As long as it didn't explode. Cracks?
No, dirt got jammed somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, check out Dart Sweep. I'll give you the details on the Outlaw. And I'm pretty sure that he'll have an Outlaw or two over at End War too. Don't quote me, I'm a pretty safe guess.
Well, Well, it's not happy about something. The dart's not in the barrel. I don't know where the
Yeah, no
dart
kidding.
went.
Yeah, we're both live. I woke up this morning, so yeah, not dead. Yes, target in the U.S.
I need a jam clearing rod.
Yeah, Cap's audio is low, depending on when he's near the computer and when he's not near it.
There's no computer involved. I'm on my phone.
Or that.
I have cleared the jam.
Technically, your phone is a small computer.
I will
Technically.
launch you into space.
Fine, I'm not paying for the chiropractor after. I am a little svelte, so it could be hazardous. OSHA requires you wear a back belt if you're going to do that, man.
Oh, I've got one of those.
Sweet. It'll save me them having to spend. How much do I got to spend to get on Bezos' rocket ship?
I don't know. I think the going rate for billionaires to die these days is 250 grand.
Oh my god. Yeah, that is just
All right.
unreal. All right, what do you got?
228.
Nice.
239. Okay, now with bamboos. 263.
Wow.
266. 263. 265.
Hey, run a full mag through it. Let's see if it does anything to it.
Well, it hasn't yet. Oh, I definitely need to secure that barrel, though. That barrel's wandering all over the place.
Is it? Because I'm wondering if you run a full mag pretty steadily, if it'll impact the tube, the thing.
Well, it did that to one of the darts.
Yeah.
What do we got? Got any chat? Anybody say anything? Oh, yeah. No, you could. I mean, I put in a different spring and a different barrel, and I'm hitting 265, and that's with no other modifications. The prime isn't heavy. It doesn't feel like it's tearing itself apart. That's ridiculous. And I dig it.
It really is. Yeah, for $30. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Unfortunately, their scar barrel will not fit over a standard barrel, though that can be dealt with.
Yeah, because it's got that. Yeah.
But I am going to have to take the front end back off and figure out how to. I mean, I could probably just. Well, I need a set screw would be ideal.
Yeah. You just put a dab of glue for now.
Well, I'm going to try to take it out. Okay, so that's where I want it to be. Let's figure something out here. How is everybody out there? What are you all up to? Green and black Supermax. Do I have a green and black Supermax? I don't recall having a green and black Supermax 5000.
I definitely do not. Trying to find a long shot on Oz. Is that even possible? Are they going to ship them down your way? Just because it hits so hard. Yeah, will these even be allowed in Australia? Not that I'm fully up to speed with Aussie laws in terms of what they're allowed to have.
You're not allowed to have anything fun.
When I was in Melbourne, we hit like a I don't know what you want to call it. It was like it was an awesome store. They had every friggin' statue and figurine you could imagine, and the place was huge. And what surprised me, we were talking about Nerf guns, and even the person behind the counter was telling me how they couldn't have rivals. And we looked right above her head, and on the top row, they actually had what you call it, the Reapers, the rival Reapers, 3 sets of them. We looked up and I said, "What about that?" She goes, "Honestly, I have no idea how that got in here because every time we ordered before, they always got refused shipment."
Must have got themselves a smuggler.
And Slamfire.
Yep.
But again, if you don't have one, like check out the detail on that. Like this is one thing I am not going to paint because it's already cool.
Yeah. I had kind of the same feeling. Like, I mean,
really
it would
dig
look
this.
great in my colors, but it looks pretty good in its own colors.
Yeah. And it also makes you wonder when Nerf says, you know what I mean, to save cost, they only paint one side of the blaster.
They full of hooey. Hooey.
Yeah. Like what the, like, you know, it's about that.
And have my doubts about this whole operation.
Can't imagine why.
So, a little E-tape on the barrel there to keep it from getting pushed out. We'll see how long that actually holds up.
That'll work.
Make sure it doesn't interfere with any of the inner workings, though. I'm not keeping up with the chat. Are you keeping up with the chat?
No, nowadays when it's jumped back in again. With the included scar, you can shoot a Mega XL. I did see that. You know, let's try that. Did you know that?
I believe I had heard that, but I can no longer put my scar on now, can I? Well,
good news. I still can. So let me see. I tried it with the rival. Just like you can stuff a rival ball in the end. It will fire, but it's kind of sadly fire. Let's see. Mega XL dart.
Mm. All right. What's it gonna take?
All right, there we go. Mega XL dart. Well, it slides on pretty good. It isn't too bad.
I heard that whistle.
You know what? That's not too bad.
And I'm gonna mute myself because I'm gonna be making noise.
All right, do it. I'm gonna make some whistling noises while you're making that noise. All right, ready? Whistling noise number 2. It's a Mega XL dart. How far can it go, right? I'm thinking with a little bit of angle, maybe 20 feet, maybe 25 feet. Can I chrono the Mega XL? Yeah, probably, but it's way over there. All right, fine. Let's do it, because now I'm curious. Who asked me that question? Now you're making me chrono it. Well, you're not making me chrono it. I'm just succumbing to peer pressure. Now, if I can just find... Oh, hold, please. Okay. All right. Why are we doing E? Hold on. What if my batteries are dead on this thing? Which could be a problem. Ah! The
Hey,
Geon! I have a Geon! I think I have a Geon. You're missing out, man. The Geon makes the greatest paperweight. It is a great doorstop. It is great for throwing against the wall when you're frustrated, because you know what? Throwing it against the wall might actually improve the damn thing. So yeah, you aren't. You know what? I'm going to gift you a Geon, and you can use it as a paperweight.
You do
Oh,
that.
do you
All right.
do you maybe
Go
have a
find me a
table
Mega
that's
XL.
out of maybe if you
Oh,
have a table that's out of balance, you can then like
yeah, there
use
you
it to
go.
like yeah perfect. How do you really feel about that, Al?
All right. Mega XL. Oh, it's not off of the muzzle. Oh, even better.
Something's wrong with my.
You make a noise?
Oh, yeah, I'm making noise. Sorry.
Oh, I think I hit the. Try to aim a little more center.
Would
Oh,
you hit?
nope. I keep hitting the chronograph.
I think you gotta get a new chronograph. Yeah, mine's not cooperating. What the?
75 FPS.
Yeah, mine just said 3.9, so that tells you everything.
That's neat. Will it shoot Mega out of this? Do we know?
Out of which one? What you doing? By the way, side note, I am now Mannequin Envy. The fact that your mannequin has your T-shirt on it and mine does not, I gotta get like a, I feel I gotta put an Al Geek shirt on this guy.
I actually specifically ordered this T-shirt for this guy because he's svelter than me, and I didn't want to waste one of the few Mega or XLs that are out there because they're out of stock now. So he's wearing a medium, I think, and it fits him perfectly because he's a skinny. Anyway, tragically, no, the little muzzle thing, Mega will not. It will not do.
No, yeah, Mega no, Mega XL, yeah, but yeah, did you try the Did you try Rival?
No, I have
Yeah, stick
standard.
a Rival in the end of it. It'll go, sadly, but it'll still go ish. Oh,
Ooh,
that sounded pretty good.
it went 3 feet. You have led me astray, and I am deeply disappointed. Well,
Well, what do
okay,
you?
that thing is now. I can't use it at Borst anymore. Actually, I couldn't use it. No, I could use it at Borst before because with the Scar barrel and the stock spring, it would hit 130.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew's asking me if I can show off the. I did a couple of the France Foamwork pilot drop-in kits,
Oh yeah.
and then of course I painted them too.
Okay, so
So
what is this getting? With Scar barrel,
what do you got there?
238 with the Scar barrel. That's actually now one of my most powerful blasters. What's up with that?
Seriously,
Like a
but
$30
it
blaster and like
5 minutes.
$25 worth of upgrade parts. So I don't think I even doubled the cost.
No, and that took you all of 5 minutes, 3 screws. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. 3 screws, minuscule amount of shell cutting, and that's only if you do want to put a longer barrel on it. If you stick with the stock barrel, you wouldn't even have to do that.
Yep. Yep.
Beacoline, yes, we are looking at Beacoline for next year. It won't be happening this year, but we are considering it for next year.
Wait, does this mean then that are we going to officially, just for fun, and see we're going to get X Shot to buy our T-shirts? So do we now officially make the X Shot Long Shot the Team Mega XL Blaster?
Well, it's currently too powerful for use in most. Well, some games are 250 for Springers, so
Yep.
as long as we weren't using
Yep.
bamboo dart. That's the thing. The difference between regular darts and bamboo darts is 30 FPS.
That is nuts, man.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
I did check. That's what I just did.
Yeah, you did.
With the upgraded spring and barrel, this thing is now hitting in the 230s with its stock ammunition and the 260s with bamboo darts.
Yep. Yet this
Is
thing's still
entirely
only 170,
normal.
sadly, but still. I love these things, man, because they're fun. I think I'm gonna take this out on my deck. You know, when you got mosquitoes, I suddenly have the mosquito problem as I'm destroying the basement.
I'm using the green and purples.
There we go. Oh, I
you
got
can
those.
get them. They're $200 on Amazon right now, or not $200. $30 for 200.
Oh,
So
so because yeah, aren't they usually like $36.99? So you save like $5 or $6.
Wait, what about 170? Who's talking about 170?
This thing, the
Oh,
France one with the standard spring without swapping out the spring, just dropping in the brass barrel, and with bamboos, I was getting 170 on this easy.
that's ridiculous. I love it.
Exactly, because it's fun. I feel like this is like an old man blaster. Instead of running around, you just pull out your hand cannon, drop in a dart, and shoot somebody and say, "Get off my lawns, kid."
Yep. Yep. Hello, that's Saxon.
But yeah, that's what this is. Nerf Pilot. You can get the kits from France Foamworks.
CO2 powered? Yeah, I've got CO2 powered ones. They were made by Wrecked, and they're rubbish. Though I do want to modify one so instead of taking a CO2 cartridge, it takes HPA and then use it for a grenade launcher.
Ooh. Now that'd be fun.
Dragon.
Because
Yes, I
who
do
doesn't
have
need
the
a grenade
dragon
launcher?
half-dart. Let me go check a dragon half dart.
Try it. Hey, no problem, man. Yeah, it is. It is so easy, and that's the best part. You can do. So he's got the other kit. Let me get one of those too now. I'll wait till Captain gets back. But basically, you got the other one where you can take out this back piece, but if you don't feel like taking it apart, you can just order the front drop-in kit, and it's quite literally you drop the brass in through here. This piece right here screws on counterclockwise, which kind of squeezes it all together. So it is an easy mod. But you can also get the 3D printed kit on the back where you have the stock attachment as well as the Picatinny rail on the top. But then you got to take it apart and not lose a piece, and you know the fun stuff when you take things apart.
Yeah, I like the simple version. So for those that are wondering, dragon darts are a bamboo dart, but they're made out of the foam that ultra darts are made out of, but then have kind of a standard head. So let's see how they do. Yeah, about the same. Actually, I got a wider spread than I did with regular darts because I got 260, 210, 241.
Wow.
Whereas the stock darts and the green and purple bamboos were getting much more consistent results.
Huh.
Let's try some other stuff. I've got some Worker Gen 3s that have been bambooed, custom bambooed.
How do you custom bamboo them?
There's a jig you can get from Worker that it's just a metal tube that you put them in, and then you heat up the metal, and it'll put the stripes in it, ribs in it, whatever you want to call it.
That seems like a lot of work.
It does feel like a lot of work, given that you can get these on Amazon for $30 for 200. So
I guess a better question:
or,
when you
somebody will send you 1,440 of them in fan mail one day.
so therefore
Somebody
you
asked
don't
how many
have to
darts
buy
I
them.
get sent in fan mail. I don't usually get sent a lot of darts, but that was a lot. Somebody sent me 10 gross of
Holy cow!
now they are the first generation bamboos, so their improvements have been made. That's probably why these were on clearance, but still, that's a lot of darts.
Well,
And
I
I had
heard
just
that you
bought
lose.
myself 200 of these. So.
Well, I hear that you lose them all over the forest back there, so you kind of need them for replacement.
That's a
stuff
lie.
Like that.
I have debunked that in video. I'm starting to melt. I need to turn a fan on.
Oh yeah, so where the hell did I put them?
Air! Oh no!
So I'm not done yet,
Right.
but I'm still sorting it out. But I decided to turn the Forerunner post-apocalyptic.
Ooh. I
Because,
really like the Forerunner.
this thing is, I like this thing a lot, man. It is my backup lately this year, has been for HVZs. And it is handy, and yeah, I like it. And you can stick spikes on it. For no apparent reason than putting spikes on it.
Thomas Rishaboo, hello.
Love this.
All right, shall we interact with some people? What's going on? Just got my Forerunner the other day for $18 on sale. Nice.
Dude, that is
What I paid
awesome.
for mine. You do need
These
to put
are
K26 in it.
$27.99.
You should just put K20. Actually, you should probably get either get K26 or better yet, the Silver Fox 26 is better.
I think if I put a spring in, it depends on who my audience is. Like when I'm at cons and I'm selling to mostly like anime people, they're buying it for the paint jobs, and after they throw money at you and they buy it, and then you kind of tell them after that it shoots, and you'd be surprised how many people look at me and say, "Oh, it actually shoots? How cool! I don't need that." All right.
Okay.
All
Would have
right.
thought that was a key feature, but what do I know?
You know what? It just depends where you're selling, right? It depends who your audience is. As long as you cater to whoever it is that's going to buy it. Awesome.
Jameson Thomas is apparently a big fan of both of us.
I can't imagine why.
Plans to make a Mark IV a Master Key under an Outlaw.
I could, but I think I, that's the thing. Like you can master key anything, but a lot of it's also you could literally stick any blaster on any blaster. The trick is, does it actually look right? If it doesn't look right, then it's kind of like, eh. Not that it's wrong, but that's just how I do it. That's my thing.
So I have recently pretty much blown my Nerf budget for the rest of the year.
Why's that?
On account of 2 new blasters that were finally made available. The Momentum, Eli Wu's Momentum, out of Darts is selling for a very large pile of money. But I had to have one because, he lives an hour south of me, and if I don't buy one, he will give me grief. Plus, he keeps shooting me with his, and I want one to shoot back at it. And then Gavin Fuzzy finally developed his own full-on blaster because he's been making some of the coolest stuff in our hobby for years. And
Which one is the one Gavin has? What's that one
it's the
called?
one
That one's the.
It looks like a Scorpion. Is the real firearm it looks like.
So that one, I'm pretty sure that at Pennsylvania Survival Fest, and if Andrew's still here, can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, Blue from Canada, from the A team, he had one, and he was running it Ford, and that thing is, yeah, that thing is sweet, man.
Yeah. So I'm on the list for that one. He's waiting for hardware to come in, and when it's ready, he's gonna tell me. Between them, they cost about the same amount as my dual pew pews.
So what you're telling me for the rest of the year, you're going to be relying heavily like, hey, if you want to send me something, I will not say no.
Yeah, basically all my new stuff is going to come from pew blasters because I can't afford to buy my own Nerf anymore. I will hopefully get to meet PewTech this summer, or actually it'll be this fall. Sergeant Deplorable and I are going to travel Europe together, and one of the places we're hoping to go is Switzerland to meet up with PewTech. That'll be fun.
I
I've never
can't.
been to Switzerland.
And I was going to say, you've never met him either, so I'm kind of curious to see what he's like in person.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's as Swiss as he is in my head.
I know it's stereotypical, but yeah, every Swiss person I've met, I've always enjoyed them. They're very funny, but then at the same time, they're I've found them quirky. But then again, they probably think I'm weird too, so it
Yeah,
all works out in the end.
yeah, exactly. Looking to mod a Stampede for HVZ for a low price. Already have a 3S LiPo and a Stampede. Well, technically, you can just rewire the Stampede to take a LiPo, and it'll have a much higher rate, a ridiculously high rate of fire. In fact, it might not stop firing. I would highly recommend, you're going to want to get the Metal Gear box, the Metal Gear kit. You're going to want to get at least a 7K spring. I don't know if I would go up to the 9K, but at least a 7K spring. And you're going to want the bolt return, the upgraded bolt return spring, all of which I believe you can get from Out of Darts. That'll do it. If you want to have, I mean, it's not going to, you'll still probably won't hit 100 FPS, but it's HVZ. You don't need 100 FPS. The targets will come to you. But that'll get you up to decent numbers. Gavin Fuzzy does have a half dart kit for it that works fairly well if you install it correctly, which is tricky. But then on a heavier spring, that thing will actually hit above HVZ numbers, so you wouldn't want to put too heavy of a spring in. But you can definitely mod a Stampede for HVZ. It's pretty cool. What new with you? I modded a thing. I did it here on the stream. It took me 5 minutes, and it's 260 FPS. The thing is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And you didn't break it.
I didn't break it. It hasn't broke. I would not want to dry fire it right now. That would probably be bad.
Well, if someone sends you a free one, then you can experiment with destroying that one.
Yeah, there we go. I'm surprised X-Shot didn't send me one. They usually send me all their new stuff. But
maybe they did. It's just like stuck in the mail.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. I am in the middle of what is that?
Dude, so this is the master key.
Oh, I love it.
Dude, you know what? I wasn't, when the Motor Blitz came out at first, I was like, because of this, it's like, But then once you mod this thing, and I realized after, I'm almost disappointed that I attached it to this, because now I think I'm going to make another one where it's just this, because I love how compact and fun and tight this little thing is. So never mind, of course, have to stick it to a Strife. And one of the few times, if you always notice, my upper barrel is almost always much longer than this. But at this time, I'm like, nah, no. Maybe I was feeling lazy. Maybe I ran out of PVC, or maybe I just didn't care. So yeah.
Couldn't be bothered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Demon Animated. Yeah. A 2S LiPo is actually all you need. You could just you wouldn't even need to rewire it for a 2S LiPo, because the thing normally runs on 9 volts. So running it on 7, you'll be fine, because it's going to have so much more current that it'll have a lot more torque. So I would try that. Yeah, just literally plug your 2S LiPo into the battery housing and see what happens, and then go from there. What else do we got? Does anyone know of an easy way to convert a Nerf long shot to half darts?
An easy way.
Easy? Define easy, because you're going to need a sealed breech. Because there's no way to chamber a half dart into the stock breech, so you're going to have to do a sealed breech. But yeah, there's lots and lots of kits out there for long shot sealed breeches. And then you're going to need a mag and mag adapter, or one of the mags that are full-size mags but take half darts. Those are a thing. They
I
just
wonder if
take
you can
up an
almost
enormous-
argue that the fact that everyone's coming out with half darts and are making everything so much more easier to mod. I guess, yeah, you can convert a long shot, but it's kind of like looking at it like, man, that's going to be a lot of work. So has it made us lazy? Whereas like a few years ago, you'd be like all over it trying to make it work.
Yeah, you'll be
One can argue.
3D printing a kit and using brass to make your own brass breech, and now we just go out of darts and buy a half dart kit. Once upon a time, we made our high-powered blasters from stuff we bought at the hardware store. I've got one over here that's all hard. Everything in it can be bought at a hardware store, and it'll hit 200 FPS.
Yeah, all my barrel kits was found in plumbing at Home Depot.
Yeah. Like the early pump kits that I built, a lot of them were made involving a lot of PVC and hardware parts. Here's something that surprised me: the magazine from the X-Shot long shot,
yeah,
is a katana clone, not a Talon clone. But the adapter will take either Talon claw or Talon mags or katana mags. So I guess the katana mag is not quite dead yet.
It lives.
But they are smart enough. They are smart enough to make their adapters cross-compatible, which is just... It's such a minor thing, but not having it would be such a problem.
So here's a question. Who in our hobby is secretly working for X-Shot?
Well, it's either that or they're just paying attention. It's not like it would not be difficult for somebody to work out what the two magazines are, because there's only the two. It's either a Talon magazine or it's a Katana magazine.
Yeah, you say that because we're in the hobby, but
I know,
let's face it, a lot of these big companies,
but the thing
they kind
is,
of like miss the obvious.
Hasbro misses the obvious, but Dart Zone has been absolutely nailing it, but we know who they're getting their help from. X-Shop might be getting their help from the same people, or they're just, again, paying attention. A smaller company, if they want to actually make it in our hobby, they have to pay attention. If they want this to take off, it has to be able to take Talon mags, because that's what we all use.
So what you're implying is that a company like Hasbro might actually have like a god complex where they're just happy that we're their peons, and much like angry Greek gods, sometimes tap us on the head, then throw us a bunch of toys and say, no, you'll like this. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
I think Hasbro wishes our hobby would disappear entirely, but we're not going anywhere. But yeah, being a multi-billion-dollar toy company, they don't have to worry about us. But Dart Zone, X-Shot, they're much smaller companies. They have to take whatever market they can get, and we are a large untapped market. Because the only company that was catering to us was Worker. Worker has been catering to us for years. They know what we're about. They made the Talon magazine. They're thoroughly tapping the competitive market. But for X-Shot's first foray, this is amazing. Dart Zone has had a couple of years, and it took them a while to really figure out the kinks. There were problems with the 1 point, the Dart Zone Pro 1, the 1.1, the 1.2. They all had issues, but then they hit it out of the park with the 4.0. But it took them 4 iterations to get there.
Which also probably means that X-Shot probably was sitting on the sidelines, kept on buying Dart Zone's product to research, realizing their mistake, and then finally realized, you know what, now we'll jump in because they've done the R&D for us.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing. The early Dart Zone Pro blasters also had Katana clone magazines. And then with the 1.2 and the 4.0, they're now Talon magazines. but they are still backwards compatible with the Talon mags, which is again it shouldn't be a genius move, but it is up to them because they flooded the market with Talon or Katana mag clones for all their old blasters, and their new stuff can use either because the old ones can't use Talon mags, or at least their adapters can't. Now, if you swap adapters, it'll work just fine, but the adapters wouldn't take Talon mags; they would only take Katana mags. Whereas the new ones, the adapters in the 1.2, and here's the one in the X shot, will take either Katana or Talon, and the Magwell on the 4.0 will take either Talon or Katana, which is something that the worker blasters won't. The Swift and the Harrier won't take Katana mags.
Yep.
And you can't even put an adapter in because they're half-dart only Magwells.
So here's an interesting point that I just realized. They hit it out of the park, and this is their first iteration. What are they coming up with later this year or first year next year? And that even better question, are they actually going to do a flywheeler?
Well, see, that's the big one. That's what I want is I want one of these companies to come out with something, a select fire half-dart flywheel blaster.
Yeah.
And ideally, I'd like to see a brushless one. Oh, Lord, the chat's
Possibly.
just been going. The chat has not been flowing. The company that I'm... that has my money, if I were to put money on which company is going to come out with a really good half-dart flywheeler first, my money is on GameFace.
Oh.
Because they came out with the Tryon, and that one also is, especially for the cost. Until this thing came out, nothing could touch the Tryon for its price point. And now this thing blows the Tryon out of the water for half the price, plus upgrades. But you'd have to upgrade the Tryon to get it to the numbers that this thing can hit.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like I can drop a Tryon, it won't break. This thing, we'll have to find out.
Yeah, and we'll see. And like I said, as has been said, the plunger tubes are fragile. One dry fire on a heavy spring, it'll probably explode. The reason I think GameFace will come out with the good flywheeler is they're coming into the Nerf world from the airsoft world. And a lot of the higher-end airsoft blasters use brushless motors. Or rather, use a single brushless motor in something that's much more similar to a Stampede. But that means that they have the knowledge and the infrastructure to work with brushless motors. So if anyone was going to come out with a good brushless select fire SMG, the first company that I think probably has the best infrastructure to be able to make that happen would be GameFace. And I would love to see them come out with something like the Momentum, or I don't know if they'll go as small as a Pew Pew, but I'd love to see a good select fire SMG, ideally brushless, but I'll take brushed at this point, but brushless would be better. And if anyone can do it, I think they can, because like I said, I think they have the best background in already having things that take brushless motors, because there's a lot of infrastructure that goes into controlling a brushless motor. You can't just hook power up to it like you do a brushed motor. There's a computer involved and all of that. I'd love to see an AEB from GameFace. I'd love to see them make a Stampede that, brushless. I'd go with flywheel as well, but I would also love to see, a good AEB from them. And again, they would be the ones to do it. Kind of like, the only other one that's done it is Colonel Wasp has the, or not Colonel Wasp. Yeah, Colonel Wasp. That has the 76.
Yep. I think you're right, and it's inevitable that we're going to see these things, just because even though Hasbro considers them small fry or like smaller companies, they are clearly listening and are identifying this market, also that it's a growing market, so it makes sense for them to make these things happen. A good example is just looking up with the gel blaster market and how that's exploded, and I don't know if anyone knew that was going to happen, where people are clearly looking for not airsoft, but other forms of blasters that hit performance. Like at AwesomeCon, so many people, because again, I lay everything out on the table and let everyone try, shoot, and pump everything, man. And so many people have no idea just how hard these things hit. And I tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if target sales in our local area jumped from every dummy I talked to about how hard these things hit, because they couldn't believe it. And it's like, hey, man, I felt the same way.
And this side of the hobby has been growing exponentially, especially. And And as much as we complain about, things like these making old school modding, no longer necessary, these are the reason that our hobby is growing, because now anybody can go to Target and get something that can compete even at the highest levels of our hobby. You could go to the store and get a Nexus and that gets you fairly competitive, but this and minor modifications is 250 FPS. That's all the way up there.
Yep, just a little bit.
The biggest problem we're having is most people don't know that we exist yet. We're not good at advertising. For the professional side of things, like Nerf Wars, people know that Nerf Wars happen, but even then, people say, "Oh, there's no Nerf Wars around me," and you're like, "I know of 2 clubs within driving distance of you. What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
And that's because we don't advertise well. We meet once a month for a war in a park, and unless you walk by that park at that time, at that day, you're not going to know that we exist.
Yeah.
If you don't go looking for it, if you don't go to YouTube and start looking for YouTubers and hear that YouTubers are talking about, "I'm going to a war this weekend," and he's like, "Oh, wait, well, this is a thing,"
So part of the booth in my booth for the con, so I had Derek from Dart Zone on one end. On the other end, we had a Maryland Foam Alliance poster up with the QR code. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see an uptick in how many people show up this month, because they have no idea, but so many people are very eager. Then on top of that, to really entice them, Andrew brought his Mark III. He's got the snub. He shortened the barrel, put the snub barrel on it, but then also his hits just a little bit faster because he's got a 3S in it, and I can't remember the kit he put in it. So Andrew, the way his sales pitch went, he'd hold up the dart catcher like this with the Mark III and just empty a whole mag into it. And the people's faces, I should have videos, he's like, "Yeah, you should come out to our events. This is what happens."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you were talking with Dark Zone about, doing more stuff at cons, because cons are almost entirely nerds. Our hobby is almost entirely nerds. It's just a matter of crossing the streams and getting those nerds to come to our stuff. And I've done
I think
Nerf
that's going to
Wars at
happen.
con. Yeah.
All right, wait. I think people are upset that we're not reading what their questions are.
Yeah, let's see what we got going on here. Al, have you ever considered making a Nerf BFG 9000?
Didn't who made one of those?
Flux.
Yeah, he did. That's right. Flux made one.
He did with a proton pack blaster.
Yep. But then also not a BFG 9000, but you have James Ridling, who did the what was it, like a circle of 6 or 8 rapid strikes, all wired together in a big.
Yeah.
Which is
I've also seen people that they made a rail attachment that would attach 3 rapid strikes into a Y.
Yep.
What was that last comment? Does the 50-round half dart magazine work in the Lapse? I don't know. I don't have a Lapse, but I assume it would work. I am being accosted by Swamp Cat. Hello, Swamp Cat. She attempted to murder a bird that fell down my chimney today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they'll fall down my chimney, and then they have to face Swamp Cat. She took him right out of the air. I opened the door. The bird made a run for it. The cat chased the bird down. The bird played dead. Swamp Cat turned around. The bird was gone.
Oh.
Swamp Cat was not amused. Did I ever chrono my Pharaoh? I have no idea. And it has been sitting so long, it probably doesn't work well. Let's go pull it out.
Do it. Wait, what was this question? Al, do you think participating in cons and festivals with blasters and having a booth is a good way to advertise? Consider this for a fest coming up in my hometown. Personally, yes. Think of it this way. When you have a Nerf event, let's say you're at a big Nerf event, you got what? You're lucky you get 20, maybe 50, 60 people. Some of the bigger ones, like even an End War, let's say, and you get what, 500 or 600 people. It's an all-day event, and still to have that many people is awesome. So when you consider a convention, and especially when you start Googling it, and everyone has one in every single town, and there's always one happening, you can literally travel the country and hit cons every single weekend. There are so many of them. Never mind when you actually start looking at how many people attend them. So, for example, Awesome Con here, it averages 70,000 people. So, if you want people to experience or see your thing, think of it this way: you now have a venue, a contained space where 70,000 people are going to go through it. That means you have the potential, if it's big enough, loud enough, or crazy enough, that 70,000 people see the crazy thing that you made. So, if unless you're like Nerf, where you can throw a lot of money for national advertising, commercials, and all that kind of big stuff, if you're a smaller company, and you really want to see, you want people that you want to put your product in their hands, and you want people to see them, yeah, cons and events, it is focused people. They are thinking out of the box. I tell you, if I was actually selling regular Dart Zone blasters, I think I would have sold a ton of them this past weekend. So yeah, I think events is a great way of reaching a lot of people when you don't have big advertising budgets and money.
Can confirm. It's just really awkward because it's a bullpup and you end up with a drum mag in your arm. Just rest it on your gut.
Unless unless you have a
Yeah,
broken collarbone, because then
yeah.
wait, let's see that. Yeah, yeah. If you got a broken collarbone, then you already got the cast like this, and all you need is your finger and the working hand. So yes, break your collarbone, and then you can use the 50-round drum.
What was that? Have you ever considered making a Stampede that has an optional manual charge handle so you could, in theory, avoid the delay between trigger pull and dart fire? No, because I don't think that would actually work. What was that last one?
That's a good question.
My local club and I like to help grow with events, just showing who we are and what we do. Yeah. Anyway, the person who asked about
That's exactly
the
what it is.
Pharaoh, it hit 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. Every shot increased the FPS by 10. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I tell you.
Goodbye, wild Derpy.
Oh,
Derpy? Mildly Derpy. Mildly Derpy is gone.
there it is. All right. So here's
I
a
miss him
question:
already.
how often do you think people want to see me and you banter back and forth mindless about things?
Oh, I have no idea, but we definitely we need to keep them wanting. Uh, if
Yeah. So I'm
Hasbro
thinking.
made
I'm
their
thinking.
what?
I'm thinking twice a day. We'll do brunch and then like an early dinner,
Yeah.
and we'll stream like that because yeah, that'll last one day, and then people will be bored of us.
Have you said anything about the secret video coming up involving a worker kit I'm sending you? No, because I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. If Hasbro
Oh
made their own short dart blaster with its own magazine design, do you think the hobby would adopt it or stick to Talons?
no, because it'll still be 70 to 90 FPS, and it'll be crap,
Yeah, that's
and it'll
kind of
have
the
Nerf on
thing.
it. It's going to be something that's going to suck.
Um, it would. I mean, we would basically just have to start making adapters that would allow you to use all three because nobody's going to want to replace all of their Talon mags when they've spent hundreds of dollars on Talon mags, and the Hasbro ones probably
Oh,
aren't going
and
to be as good. What? What did Andrew say?
question how to plug and so you'll notice any like major event usually happens south of the border in the U.S. We got nothing to really have Canada. Luckily, Canadians still come down for it. Well, here's an option for friends in northern states near the Canadian border and Canadians is that there's actually an event that's going to be happening October 21st. Andrew, if you want to list the link for it or exactly what it's called, but basically it's a Halloween event. It's October 21st. It's an all-day event, and because what it's going to be is no mags, no magazines, either internals or single shots. And I think the FPS cap is either 250 or 200. I'm not sure. Andrew, since he asked me, he'll list the details now. But it is happening October 21st, and it's going to be a Halloween event, but it's going to be horror Halloween. So also they're expecting you to dress up in costume from horror. and it's going to be a fun event. So I am definitely going again because I am originally from the Toronto area, and it's a perfect excuse to go visit my folks and family, and then go. And then I was also talking to Anthony at Maritime Foam, and I've not had to twist his arm too much. He is coming to it as well. So, and then on top of that, there may be someone else that I may be co-streaming with that may go, not to put words in his mouth, and I don't know who the hell I'm talking about, but it all depends when he comes back from Europe. That may also go to Canada for this Halloween event.
It's been a
Now, it's
long
months in
time
the
since I was
making,
in Canada. I think I was 10.
and here's the
No,
good news:
no, I went
summer,
to
so
war
the
with
summer
Canada
humidity
once.
is over. There you go. The summer not sweating like you might actually have to put layers.
Mhm.
So, which means you can wear a costume and not die from heat exhaustion.
Oh, very good, very good. Somebody asked a good question. What is your favorite event you've been to? I have a newborn and have to be very selective about the events I attend. Well, if you're talking about the big events, UMBC runs a great invitational. The Pennsylvania Foam Alliance. I've heard
Pennsylvania Survival Fest.
Survival Fest. That's the one. I've heard nothing but good stuff about that.
We went to it, man. It was fun.
Yeah, depending on where you are in the country, Ragnar Oktoberfest is over in California. It's also a really, really fun event. Ones that I would recommend avoiding if you want to. I wouldn't go to one of the Jared's Epic Nerf battles if I were you. They're different. They're events geared towards young kids who don't want to have to deal with rules. For a little kid, it's probably the coolest thing they've ever been to. For an adult, it's kind of getting shot in the face by a bunch of kids. But any of the big invitationals, so UMBC, Pennsylvania Survival Fest, Ragnar Oktoberfest, Mall Madness, the Mall Mutation Madness was absolutely an amazing event. It's an overnight event where they take over a mall and do an HVZ in the mall overnight. Absolutely incredible event. End War used to be it used to be the only big event. Now it's kind of dwindled. But there's so many more options now, so it really helps. At this point, you have
Maryland Mayhem, and clearly is just because it's local and my buddies run it, but honestly, it is good.
rarest Lego set I have. I've got some really old ones that are probably pretty rare at this point. Technically, I have the instructions for a genuinely unique one, but so do lots of people. If you go to the Lego house in Denmark, there's a place where you can poke a button and it'll spit out a card that has a unique set of instructions for something that can be built using 6 just regular square bricks, because there's billions of possible combinations for 6 regular square bricks. And so they give you a unique one that's never been printed out before in the history of mankind. So you're the only one that has that set of instructions. And then they give you a bag with 6 bricks in it. So
That's awesome.
that's one of a kind, but there are probably millions of one of a kind set. I also have some old Forestman sets that are actually in box, not new in box, but in box that I was sent that I'm not sure what to do with because I already have them built. Are
For the
disputes
record, also.
allowed? What do you mean disputes? What are we disputing? I do have the
Oh,
yellow
that's
captain.
that's Nate, and yes, Team Mega Double XL is the best team ever. However, here's the caveat: I may be delusional. I also had brain surgery, so you might not be able to take that at face value. But in a few of our minds, yeah, um, we finished exactly to be near the bottom, and yet we still had fun.
We were also undisputedly the crowd favorite. They loved us. Get off my lawn was our battle cry.
Get off my lawn, you crazy kids! And we won one. We actually won one,
Yeah.
and it wasn't because they felt sorry for us.
No, they just got wrecked.
Well,
Young
you know what?
Ringer on the team, didn't he carry that round?
No, that was Trey. So Trey's in our age, but at the same time, Trey's in. Yeah, he's a pretty good ringer, man.
Oh,
Awesome. Well, I think so. I think well, me and you will talk about it, but we'll probably try to do this at least once a month, or maybe once every 2 weeks, depending if we're have anything to talk about, or if we're bored, or maybe you'll just tune in one day and the two of us will sit here and eat donuts.
we'll just be here. A gift
Just
for
gonna
you
be here
all.
and
Behold, Swamp Cat, being a cat, being lazy. It will get your toe beans. Get your toes. Get your toes. Toes. Oh no! Have at thee. Have at thee. Meow. 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 Alright, I'll leave you alone. You can go back to sleeping.
She's still lamenting the escaped bird.
Who's dead?
I tell you, horrible things.
Just the rudest.
To look for the hammer shot cylinders once the stream ends. Chaylo, look for the hammer shot cylinders when the stream ends.
What about hammer shot cylinders? Who are you?
I don't know, man.
What do you want? What are you talking about? Oh,
Radioactive Designs.
right. The
Does
the
that ring a
ones that
bell?
we haven't done videos on yet. I'm sure they're around here somewhere.
I think so. Quick before the Outlaw comes out, man.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, I guess I don't need these anymore. The problem is, I mean, I'll have to wait until 3D printed solid makes holsters for them and sends them to me. Then
the other
they
thing
might
is,
phase out my hammer shots.
no, because the other thing is, I just realized like the Outlaw is gonna hit too. It's gonna be too spicy for HVZ, so the hammer shot will still be relevant.
No, there you are then. Favorite
Yep.
noodle-based meal is going to be tortellini formaggio with chicken. And
Yeah, I
I
can get behind
recently
that.
finally found a place that sold it. I've been looking. There was a place in Lewiston, Idaho, Antonio's, that had it was magnificent. Best tortellini formaggio I ever had. And they unfortunately did not survive the plague. And so I've been looking for another source for it ever since. And the only one I found, looked up so many different Italian restaurants, and none of them had a tortellini formaggio with chicken. And I finally found it, out of all places, Olive Garden, which it was good. It wasn't
I
the
never
best,
understand.
but it wasn't bad.
When you go to New York City, you're in Manhattan, in Times Square, and there is a lineup for the Applebee's and the Olive Garden. It's like, are you kidding me, man?
Yep. I think I went to the
New York
Olive Garden.
City.
Speaking of this, I'm pretty sure the last time I was in New York, my brother and I went to the Olive Garden, and the waiter would not stop trying to push an Idaho baked potato on us. And we're like, my man, we are from Idaho. I don't want an Idaho baked potato. Bring me a New York baked potato. We only export the trash.
That's what he says. Yeah, hit the other place down the street, man. Like, come on.
Favorite build. Honestly, at this point, the Smart Gun currently is my favorite.
That's many people's favorite.
I do need to make a few more minor modifications to it. I need to upgrade. I need to actually rewire it so it's back to the way it used to be. Because I made some changes so that it would work with an out of darts proton pack where the backpack would feed the blaster instead of the other way around. And because of how much is going on in that, it cannot power everything in the Smart Gun and the backpack. The backpack just was not getting enough current to actually feed. So I'm going to make it so that the blaster has its own battery and its own power, and then the backpack has its own, and the blaster just activates the backpack, and that way I should be able to get the rate of fire that it should have. What do we got? Mozzarella, mac and cheese with mozzarella and chicken nuggets. That sounds delicious.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'd eat that.
I'm in. Yeah. 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 I do that.
That would be awesome. I would love to have leather holsters for the Outlaw. That'd be way better. I wonder how. I mean, I'm gonna have to get my hands on one and see if they will fit in any of the leather holsters that I already have. They'll almost certainly fit in the universal holsters that I have.
Most likely, yeah. I think that would. I think that
Oh
would.
yeah, yeah. Brett is an excellent survivor in HVZ because Brett has absolutely no qualms about leaving you to die. And honestly, that's the way to survive a zombie outbreak. You cannot be worried about other people. Other people will get you killed.
Yep. Uh, I watched The Walking Dead. I know. I saw.
I didn't. I don't like zombie movies or zombie shows that give me nightmares.
That's the best thing about The Walking Dead. It's not the zombies that are scary. It's everybody else.
Oh yeah, I mean that's been the theme for most zombie movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
True. Though I don't know how easy it would be to go with a higher capacity cylinder in the Outlaw.
I don't know.
I
We'll find out
mean,
when they're released.
is there a choose choice? What is the choose choice? Uh, melee is something that is dependent on the club. You're going to have to ask your local club what their rules are for melee, what their construction rules are, and all of that. Because some are very picky and they're going to want you to have like LARP quality melee weapons. Others, a pool noodle is just fine. It depends. And every club is different. What we allow isn't the same as what somebody in another state or another club is going to allow. So you're just going to have to talk to your local mods and find out what is and isn't allowed. Especially with something like a pole arm, because it's really easy to accidentally hurt someone with a pole arm because of how much power they can have behind them if you're not careful.
Physics, man. Should have stayed awake in physics class.
Yeah, about dinner time. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like almost bedtime for me and like food time for you.
Yeah, we will definitely have to do this more.
I think so. So send your checks payable to Alan Chaylo, and then
Uh, tell you what, if I get at least one new person on my Patreon, we'll make this a regular thing.
there you go. Here's the funny thing is, do any of our listeners actually still have checks? How many of you know what a check is?
I I got a checkbook when I opened my bank account. I have never in my life written a check because it also came with a debit card, and so never once have I ever written a check. I have had to go get money orders on occasion, and if I had a checkbook, that might have been easier. But I haven't had checks in 20 years. No,
So what you're
24.
saying is that people should send you checks because you clearly don't know what they are. So if people actually sent you checks, then you'd able to experience and understand what checks are.
Oh, I've gotten checks. I've just never used a check. I've never written out a check and gave it to somebody. Uh,
Fine, send Chaylo a
do
check. He'll
I
send you a
design
check as
triggers
well.
and stuff for blaster modding? Not really. I've like fabricated some the hard way by like drumming them out of Delrin or whatever. But I don't have like 3D printed stuff. My 3D printing skills are crude, and that's being generous. I download files from Thingiverse and then use my slicer to cut them into the things I want. It's definitely the hard way to do it. In the amount of time I've spent doing that, I probably could have become a master in Tinkercad. But instead, I've gotten really good at using my slicer, which is a bit like using MS Paint to forge the Mona Lisa.
But it works. It's
It
it's
has,
working.
it has
It's
been working.
working.
I mean, you should see
That's
some of
right.
this. There's some really complicated stuff on my smart gun that exists because I sliced stuff. Right. Well, I'm gonna go get some food and clean up the mess that's now on my workbench. We will do this again.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know when. I don't know where. But we will do this again. My
And
favorite
now that we
medieval
figured out
weapon.
how to do this,
Yeah. Now we know how to do it. I'm definitely gonna get a better. I'm gonna get a Bluetooth thing. I think I've got one somewhere.
Yeah.
I just don't know where it is. It's probably long since died because right now I'm attached. I'm attached to it, which makes wandering around my workshop grabbing stuff a bit difficult. Anyway,
but I think now that we know how to do this, we can actually advertise and tell people days in
yeah.
advance, as opposed to, what do you mean he's going live?
Yeah, see, we could make it a regular thing. Pick a day every 2 weeks and just do it. Thursdays wouldn't actually be my first choice because there's another stream I sometimes join on Thursdays. So Wednesdays maybe.
Wednesdays are pretty good.
Middle of the week.
Yeah, no one else has anything else to do anyways on a Wednesday.
Yeah, no, it's Wednesday. Who's doing anything on Wednesday?
Seriously.
And,
but then also, we may do random pop-ups because we're bored or have something
this is
stupid to show
entirely
you.
true. We can just, you know what? We're chatting. Why don't we stream while we do this? It's Old Gray Bricks. Old Gray Bricks is the channel that I sometimes join on to stream. I'm the youngest of the people on it, and it's Lego Talk. Yeah. But I qualify. I had the gray in my beard, so I was let on the stream. Snuck in. So my favorite medieval weapon. Someone asked. My favorite medieval weapon is the bill. Particularly the nasty, really nasty. I actually had one that I fought with back in my medieval days, and now I have one for my sig fig. My Lego minifigure of me has a proper bill because the company finally made them, and I got a bunch of them. It makes me happy.
Oh, speaking of mid-fig, because I absolutely love this thing.
Nice. That is amazing.
That came to me from Clowny Nerf, and even though he does Nerf, he does this as a side thing, and he surprised the hell out of me when he sent this to me. He made that from scratch, and I'm talking like bits and pieces and bobs, and the detail on this is ridiculous. So when you get a chance, man, show Clowny some love because dude's got so much more talent than he gives himself credit for.
Clowny is good people. I've got the box that he sent me. I still have it somewhere up there. I have a Warhammer 40K. One of my friends also does Warhammer 40K modeling, and he sent me one in my colors with my logo on it, and it actually has my bolter. The fig is holding my bolter, even with the X-Strike logo painted onto a Warhammer 40K Minis bolter. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Apparently, they paint using a needle.
And a lot of patience.
Yeah, amazing.
It is, man. It's. I did like small scale shifts, but my vision is going to. I don't know what went first, my patience or my vision. Either way.
Prodeo Imperatore. All right. We keep saying we're going to leave, and then we're still here.
I know. I got to go see if my wife has gone to bed yet or not.
I'm going to find the button. Oh, I found it.
Find the button. See you later.
Goodbye.
Much love, everybody. Woo!